So it's time for my next read, and I have chosen The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. I'm excited. The back sounds really interesting. I just think it's about this family, so I'm kind of excited to dive into that. The cover is super cute. I love the little bee on it, and I just think it's adorable. Yeah, I don't read the backs really. I kind of will glance through it, but I haven't read the back, so I don't really know what it's about. But I'm excited to dive in and see what I'm gonna be reading about. How long is this thing? Oh, interesting. Hold on. I'm trying to see how long this is. I think it's around 650 pages. So, oh, and look at the inside of it. When you open that's interesting. It's kind of a different vibe than the cover. Like that, but it's on the back too. But it's still pretty. So, all right, well, I'm gonna get started. I have a lot of reading to do on this one. I don't usually read ones this long when it's not like fantasy or super like plot-driven books. So this should be interesting. What's the one that's really long that everyone just talks about how sad it is? I know the name of it. I don't know. I'm blanking. Let me look it up and I'll be right back. A Little Life. I don't know why I couldn't remember that, but A Little Life. I couldn't really get into that one, which I also think that's a different reason. I think it's because I heard that a lot of things in that book are just sad, like for the sake of being sad. Like you can tell that they're trying to make you sad. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of why I stopped reading it. And also, like, it just wasn't really grabbing me. But I think it's around a similar length to this one, so we'll see how it goes. So we already have been told what the bee sting was. So, whenever her mom was getting married to her dad, there was a bee that flew under the veil, and it stung her mom in the eye, and her eye swelled up a lot. And because of it, her mom just wore the veil the whole time at the wedding, and there's like no pictures of the wedding because of it. So I'm interested to see how this impacts other stuff in the family's life. So I'm on page 99. I should have just waited till I'm on page 100, but I'm on page 99, and it's really weird, the layout, because, okay, so originally it was just called Sylvia's. Like, it started with Sylvia's, and then it just was like 1, 2, and I think it went back to 1, 2. For the organization of the chapters. Well, then it switched to Wolf's Lair is like the section, and now each chapter doesn't have any, maybe that's the name of the chapter, but now there's no name on the chapter. And then the next, let me skip ahead. The next chapter is called The Widow Bride, that's the next section. Oh, I guess it is the next chapter. Oh, no, it is the next section. It's The Widow Bride, and then it goes back to 1, is it 1, 2, 1, 2 again? 1, 2. I don't know, it's just really weird. Because I thought I wasn't really paying attention, and I was like, oh, wait a second. There was a different section name on this one. So I'm really interested to see how it continues throughout the novel, because like, this is just interesting. Also, okay, so the writing, it kind of reminds me of a Sally Rooney book, just in the way that it's like interpersonal dynamics and conversations, and right now there's not really plot as much,
it's kind of more just these dynamics between people, which I really like about Sally Rooney's writing. Like, I'm a huge Sally Rooney fan, so I'm enjoying it. My only thing is like 650 pages is kind of crazy for like this kind of book. Let me look up how many pages Normal People is just for comparison. One sec. So Normal People has 300 pages, and I feel like that's a little bit more manageable whenever it's this style of like book, wherever it's kind of just exploring different dynamics and relationships, and it's a little bit more how like real life works, where it's not like, oh, it's like a huge mystery, like strict plot where it's following, I don't know, like the hero's journey, or like any of the stereotypical plots that are used. But what that also means is that 600, I feel like unless something starts happening, 650 pages might get a little exhausting. But I'm on page basically 100, and I'm actually really still enjoying it. I'm intrigued to see where I'm gonna be at around like page like 400, where like it's been a while, but I still have a bit to go. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying that it's kind of this more literary fiction vibe instead of anything else. But this is a long literary fiction, so we'll see.
Now, instead of being in Cass's head, we're in her brother's head, PJ, and I hate it. I hate being in a boy's brain. It sucks. It's awful. Like, I hate it so much. I want to go back to Cass. It's just like, oh, it's so frustrating. And it's like misogynistic, obviously, because it's a boy. And he's like, at one point he was watching this girl, like she had just had a shower, so she was like in her underwear, and they were like peeping in on her. And it's like absolutely disgusting to have to read about. I want to go back to being in Cass's head. It was like, it felt a lot better in there. Oh, and this is written by a man. Of course it would. Of course it would be. Paul Murray, Count Your Days. Disgusting. 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 Excuse my outburst. It's just very emotionally draining to have to be in that perspective. So I'm like at my wit's end. But that was dramatic, I will admit. But I'm just ready to be out of his head. I don't know how much longer I can be in there. Okay, so I just finished Imelda section, and honestly, I flew through it so quick I forgot to even record a video, because like that was the most interesting part of the book. Like, she's the mom, and it like went back in time to her story, and it was so interesting. So she was originally in love with this guy named Frank. Like, in love, they were engaged to be married, and before the wedding he got in a car wreck and died. And then she immediately got pregnant and engaged to his brother, because she thought that being with his brother would make him so mad that he would come back from the grave. So it was like her grief. And then now she's stuck with this guy forever. It's like this terrible, like so sad story. And I loved learning more about her and kind of why she is the way she is. So, because from everyone else's perspective, she just seems like she's this like vain, like kind of standoffish, rude person. And then hearing her backstory, it's like so tragic. And she used to be this like fun, like she just used to be completely different, and then she just became so sad, cut off. But she used to be so fun, and
it's really like her backstory that has turned her into the person she is today, and it's just so interesting. So now it has gone back. I actually don't know whose perspective it's jumped to, but we're like, it was talking about Cass. It might just be Imelda in the present, but yeah, I really enjoyed that, and now I'm like a decent way through. Sorry, I got my nails done today. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you because I love them. I got my nails done today. My mom was coming up to look at them. Look at the little starfish. It's getting blurry, but anyway. My mom was coming up to see my nails. Anyway. But I think his name was Willie. I really liked him. He was like a perfect amount of like sarcastic, funny, like really witty. I really liked him a lot. The dad, Dickie, his name's Dickie, left Willie whenever Frank died, his brother, and that's when he married his brother's wife, or fiance. And kind of his reasoning was like, because he was trying to force Frank to like take over the job at the car dealership because he didn't want to work there. And then whenever Frank died, Dickie was like, I was trying to force Frank to take over my life, so now I'm gonna take over his, as like because he felt guilty. Weird reasoning, I don't know. But anyway, he left Willie, and then it flashes like to the present, and the dad is having an affair with a guy, like with one of the mechanics at the dealership. So that's kind of crazy. Also, it flashes to PJ. PJ, the kid, goes to visit his sister, Cass, at college in Dublin. And he's like younger. I don't think it says how old he is. But he gets Cass basically tells him to go away. She's like, I don't want you here. So he's just wandering the streets of dark streets and alleys. And he's been texting this guy named Ethan. And he's never met Ethan before. But they met online, and he's been texting Ethan, and he's like complaining to Ethan about the situation. And Ethan's like, I can come pick you up. Some cars pull up. It's not actually Ethan. Ethan doesn't exist. I assume PJ is being catfished. And it ends the chapter with presumably PJ being kidnapped. Okay, I look like a mess because I just got out of the shower, but we leave for Mexico in the morning. Our flight is at 6:30, so we're leaving the house at like 4:30-ish. No, our flight's at 6, so we're leaving at 4:30. And it's like, I think we're at 8. And I wanted to have this book finished so I could read something different on the trip. And so I'm kind of scrambling. But a lot has actually happened since I last updated. I've just been like flying through it. But we got the dad's perspective. That was also something I really enjoyed. I liked getting both the parents. We find out that he's actually, I think bisexual, but no one in his family knows that. Which I really enjoyed. His old boyfriend named Willie. Someone coming upstairs. Hold on. Right back. I'm back. But yes, we assume PJ's been kidnapped because it ends the chapter saying like he's running away from these people who keep chasing him in the dark. And it ends with like a hand gripping his shoulder. So, I'm kind of sad. I felt really bad for PJ. He was one of my favorite characters. What else is happening? Oh, Imelda is also having an affair. So both the husband and the wife are having an affair. Imelda's hasn't turned into anything yet. It's just been emotional. Oh gosh. And then Dickie's hasn't been emotional at all. It's only been physical. Oh, and the guy he had the affair with, they're not having an affair anymore, and the guy's blackmailing him for money. It's just so much is happening. We're all good. It wasn't PJ getting kidnapped. Cass found PJ, and that was Cass that put her hand on his shoulder. So we're all good. Oh my gosh. So the two people, the couple, she is having the emotional affair with Big Mike, I think. Big something. And we find out the person he was having an affair with before Imelda is having a baby with the guy that Dickie was having an affair with. So the couple, their affairs are linked to a new couple, and they're having a baby. So, crazy. Whoa. That ending was crazy. Not at all what I expected, but kind of. Okay, so I was already thinking, like, there's no way this book has, like, a happy ending. Like, it just felt so tragic throughout that I'm like, it just felt weird to have it wrap up in a nice little bow, and that's, like, the direction it looked like it was going. But, so basically, Dickie's out in the woods, and he's trying to shoot his lover who's blackmailing him, because he doesn't want to come clean. And so he's waiting for him to show up in the woods, and he's going to shoot him. There's a big storm happening in these woods, and his whole family is running through the woods looking for him. And it ends saying, like, with him shooting, but we don't know who. And he says, "I'm doing it for love," and shoots. And then it ends. And it's, like, ambiguous. I feel like he shot his family on accident, like, not on purpose. Every other person in his family, like, the novel ended with them kind of, like, coming to terms with their personal struggle. Cass finally stood up to her best friend, and kind of stood up for herself. PJ, well, what was his struggle? He just kind of wanted his family to be together. Like, I mean, he did really love his sister, and he finally got her, like, they finally got close to get together at the end. The mom kind of fell back in love with her husband. But Dickie was kind of, it didn't feel like a real conclusion to his story because he couldn't accept that part of himself. So I feel like it was like the whole family was coming together except him. Does that make sense? So that's why I kind of feel like the shot was at the family instead of at the actual lover, because I don't know, does that make sense? Like, in a I don't quite know how to explain it, but that's just, like, what makes sense to my brain. I was doing some, like, Googling on, like, theories after I finished, and I saw one that I really liked, and it was talking about how a bee, like an actual bee, a bee will sting you when threatened, but at the death of itself. And that kind of made me think of Dickie. Like, he felt so threatened that he took the shot instead of just, because someone else was like, you could just own up to it and just tell everyone about this past of yours. And Dickie was like, no, I can't have them know. So he'd rather kill a man than own up to it. And so that kind of made me think, like, he felt threatened, but what that meant was that it was, like, the death of himself, and then, so which means, like, is represented by him killing someone in his family. I really enjoyed this book. At the beginning, I was a little nervous about the length, but, like, it wasn't overwhelming. It felt like it was going at a good pace. It got crazy at the end, but I was still enjoying, like, the other part of it. Like, I would be like, oh my gosh, wait, I have to, like, give an update, because it had been so long since I had, like, even taken a breath from reading. And yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it. And now it's 10:30-ish, and we're leaving. I was informed that we are leaving at 3. Waking up at 3. So I need to go finish packing and go to bed. But I can't wait to be making a video from Mexico about the next book I'm reading. Bye!